world, women are rising, leading revolutions, shaping policies, and transforming lives from the grassroots. Yet, despite their strength, brilliance, and resilience, women remain vastly underrepresented in political spaces and decision-making positions. Why does this gap still exist? And more importantly, how do we close it? What tools, systems, and support structures are needed to elevate women into positions of real power, not just symbolically, but structurally? All right, we have our topic of discussion this morning, empowering women for political leadership and grassroots impact. And to help us with this discussion, we have a woman that is a women advocate. She's in the business of also empowering women from the ground up. And she is the convener, president, of Lagos Made Women Organization, and team lead. She is also the team lead of Protocol and Logistics Lagos State for the All APC Women Summit Group Southwest. This morning, I have with me here Ambassador Abosede Oluwakemi Joseph. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning.
Beautiful.
I'm blushing.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Well done with what you do for women, with women. This morning, we're going to be talking about women. You know, this discussion has been on and over and over again. But then we cannot stop talking about it until we achieve our goal. I'm sure you believe that, and I'm sure that's why you're still there doing the job of being a woman ambassador, right? So let's start from here now. What are the most common barriers you feel that is preventing this women? You know, we've been shouting, forever. Women this, women that. We want women here, we want women here. So what do you think, are the barriers? That is, affecting women from attaining that political position. Now, let's take it from the grassroots, because we know that at times it's a thing of order. Why are women not moving, even from the grassroots?
Good morning once again. It's a beautiful thing to be called a woman, and even more beautiful because, we have been created by God to take charge. So, talking about our emergence from the grassroots, why it's slow? Because leadership, it doesn't have to be political in nature. Most times it starts from the home. It even starts from you being a daughter. The way a daughter is raised in a home is different from the way the male child is raised. You are raised to be a caregiver. You are raised to be, to be able to think for others. You're able to okay, you should know what we want. People assume that you're in the position to actually get things done. So speaking about why slowly we are emerging from the grassroots, just based on several factors that are there and will be there forever: cultural, socio-cultural, political at times, because in a certain village, there's a structure of a patriarchy. Women are not supposed to be seen, they're not supposed to be heard, and then we have the financial, and then there are a whole lot of other factors. Then the choice of who goes to school, educational, all these things starts at the grassroots. You're trying to bypass us intentionally, knowing that what is good for the goose should be good for the gander. You want to raise the male child to be a leader in the future. But for the female child, you're expecting her to first of all look after the home. But in it all, we have found our strength as women at the grassroots. So even when you tell us this is our space, that space, we have been able to manage it well. We have been able to demonstrate that we can do it. We can take charge. So even when the men are ahead of us, from the onset, academically, socially, politically, we have a way of catching up, which is why at every point in time, we as women are prepared to lead. So we have overcome a lot of obstacles and circumstances at the grassroots, which is speaking volume for us, and we speak volume for us in the not too distant future.
So you have talked about cultural norms, we've talked about social norms. How can this be changed? Because it seems to me as if we're just, we've been talking about it, and we're still there. We're not there yet. Do you think it's changing, Or how do you think that we can, these cultural norms, societal norms, can be, changed, or, if not totally?
We might seem loud and appear extroverted, but we are actually inborn strategists, which is part of what is giving birth to what we are trying to do, in the not so distant future.
Okay.
We know our collective presence remains our strength, which is why we are coagulating. We cannot do things in isolation. These values, these barriers are extreme in some region. In some places they are relaxed. A woman raised in the Southwest, maybe perhaps at the early stage, has a little bit of more exposure than a woman raised in the conservative north. So when we come together, which is part of what we're trying to do as the women in the All Progressives Congress APC women support group, we're trying to bring together every value you have as a woman. We're trying to establish a collective presence so that we can actually hold each other by the hand. Surprisingly, even with the level of agility and dynamism we have in the Southwest, our women in the North still are emerging even more than women in the South at the end of affairs, because eventually they are men. They are pleased that they have done what they want them to do. They are satisfied at the cultural level that they have been obedient, they have listened to us, and they have respected our values. And now that, okay, now you can now go forth, we can vouch for you that you will be of good report, which is happening in the Southwest too. With our level of education and everything, the men are not seeing us as intimidating. So we have overcome this barrier, which is why we are now speaking, at higher level of understanding that we are ready. We are ready. We don't need you to, you cannot speak for us when we are not there.
Okay, you talked about coercion. And this is women bringing, you talked about bringing women together. And there's this norm of women do not support women. There's this norm of the fact that where women gather, the thing will not, it won't, there's this norm that women cannot collectively do, things right and well. Tell us more about how you intend to, with what you do, with what your group, what they do, how do you intend to bring all women, all the groups together, and help them to rise up politically?
This is the place of what we are trying to achieve with the All APC Women Support Group Summit coming up September 27th here in Lagos. You must forgive me. I need to give direction that we are actually making progress. So the place of mentorship, which was long lost on us because of all these petty values of I don't want a woman, it's long lost, it's gone. It is no longer, it's non-existent anymore. I am here because other women believe in me that I can speak for us for the entire Southwest. In times past, you won't have such opportunities. It will be like, okay, I don't like her face, I don't like, but now we've gone beyond all that. We just want the men to know that we will appreciate if you please allow us to start to speak for ourselves. We appreciate that you can identify us from afar, but inside us, inside every woman, there's another substance that only a woman can cite. So so we are ready. We are good to go. We want to register a collective presence in the leadership.
So do you think women can do it differently? Do you think women can lead differently than men? If so, where are the aspects of strengths of women that you think they can bring to leadership, which most of the times are being overlooked by men?
Okay, apologies to the men. We're not saying that we can do it better. We just want gender parity. So our area of strength is just the fact that we can manage situations, we can handle situations, and we can deliver. Yes, maybe in times past we've not gotten it right with the people that have found their way to the top. This is basically because they bypassed our internal. There's an internal arrangement of women that we need to continue to imbibe in one another. But when you are selected by the opposite sex, it's like, I am here not because of you, but because a man believes in me. So we want the men to know that we are better prepared. There are a lot of things we have in us as women that has prepared us even beyond now to take charge of the economy, political, everywhere. In so many sectors you find the women. We are excelling. Media, the banking sector, in the political space, in entertainment, in sports. We are there. So it's not now that it comes to leadership that you might start to think we are not enough. We will always be enough. A woman will always be enough. Everywhere you put a woman, check us out during the lockdown. We did exploits. We became accountants, nurses. We took charge. A lot of men came home that day with nothing, and it could have been worse if women did not rise up to the game. So we are capable, and we are telling the entire nation, we are telling the whole world that we as women in leadership and political space, we are ready. We just need more assurances from you, because after all the stress at the local level, getting yourself, presenting yourself and all that, and they now talk of there's a quota, there's a space. So this has been our albatross. We want you to please give us the affirmative 35% affirmative space, and then we will know how to appropriate it to ourselves. So you helping us is not helping us, because what they're giving us is less than 3%. So we want our 35%. Let's take it from there, because I know in the not too distant future we'll be talking about 50%, 60%.
Hey, I like your faith. Okay, let's talk about your personal experience as a woman leader and a woman that has been carrying along, some women. How do you think that empowering one woman politically can create a rippling effect across families and communities?
It's obvious that as a woman, you are not the woman. You are not the make that is selfish. A woman is a giver. You give life. You give your name up for a man. We are givers. So harmonizing and blending this into the younger generation is a selfless effort for us. I personally, at the Grassroots, I have registered my presence since I was a teenager. I had given myself up to be mentored, to be tutored, to be a leader from the age of 15, and I did not leave it even as a mother, even as a woman. I carried it to my higher institution, and I'm still running with it. And by the grace of God, I've been able to infuse it into my children. That the only language you can speak in a sane society is the language of relevance, is the language of mattering in what goes around you. Not just be a naysayer. You should be someone that is actually seen to be intentional. So we have developed a lot of intentionalities in our mentees, in a lot of young women, whether you go to school or not, whether you've learned a trade or not, whether your marriage is working or not, whether you're not, everything, the cultural things that have been set on our path. Successfully, we have jumped these hurdles. You must marry, you must go to school, you must have children. We've done all this, and now we're ready to do more. A young lady of 25 now should be ready to be able to say, I am this person, not just Mrs. I am this person. So our drive as women in the political space and leadership space is to make sure that at 20-something, you have something else attached to your personality, apart from being a mother, a wife, a daughter. Yeah. So the place of mentorship is wide, is endless, is limitless. And thank God a lot of our young girls realize that men will ask you, what do you bring to the table? So even they're asking a PhD holder, what do you bring to the table? So when you are now saying that I'm a counselor in my area, your husband say, that's my wife, she's honorable. So they have appreciated the fact that they need to add value to their very essence. So the journey is smooth, it's not perfect, but we'll get there.
Okay, we've seen, I'd like you to give us a practical example of well, maybe in this part of the world we might not have gotten there, but the fact remains that we have a few women out there that have been, given political positions. They have handled top positions for a couple of years. Give us a practical example, of women that in our environment, in our community, that has, done exceptionally well and has groomed young ladies also, because that's what we're talking about.
With every sense of respect, I will start from my excellency, the mother of the nation, our senator, Mama Oluremi Tinubu. She was not just content being a housewife, being a first lady. She went on to the House of into the Senate. For 3 terms, she was there, 12 years, holding forth and preparing what we're enjoying today. And that is just to pay obeisance. But we have more realistic women in our midst. Someone like Princess Folashade Oba, Olabanji Oba. She didn't just, her grassroots experience, she didn't just, she consolidated beyond the community she is in Ikorodu, which is why people like us can say that we are on a journey with her. Because she has not stayed just in her community. She has experimented with the larger communities like Lagos State, the zonal level, the national level. And that is why we have hope that women can actually mentor women, not minding that there are discrepancies, maybe educationally, or maybe we have a voice. We have women like Princess Arep Birin, Dr. Folachadola Banjoba, who is currently the National Director, Contact and Mobilization for Astraju Beyond 2027. She's someone that does not rest on her earth. She's someone that any woman would want to say that I'm proudly mentored by her. So for this, we have other women too that we can talk about. But just to safely put it, women are ready to mentor other women. And by that, a lot of us that were almost disillusioned, that were just comfortable in our skin, can now say that there's a positive trajectory. There's a way that you can actually log on to other women and you'll be fulfilled at the end of the day. Because a lot of people will go in and talk about themselves. But now women are talking about other women. Please, can we have a counselor? Please, can we have we keep asking for slots now. So we can actually find ourselves every inch of the way. Women are not just comfortable sitting at the top now. We want to have, there's a connection, there's a thread, a healthy thread that is growing, that is being woven around us as women now, that there's an interconnectivity that will be difficult for any man to come in to break. So that is how far we have gone as women in the political space.
So now talking about interconnectivity, unable to break, and talking about political space, because the topic of discussion this morning is empowering women for political leadership. Those men that are that has the political power, if I can use that word, do you think they are opening up enough space politically for women? If not, what can they do better? Or what should they be doing better?
Even from the house, we know that power is not served a la carte. If you want your husband to give you the extra, you have to do the extra. So we are not asking for free recognition, freebie. We are totally in support of the fact that God has made them our head. And that is the first thing we need to get right. All we want them to understand is that we can actually get things done and give them how we want them to help us apply it. We don't want them to think for us. You cannot talk about us without us. We have to be at the table. So what we are saying is we want to be at the table where we are talking about women. We want you to go into our blueprint. We have a blueprint of how we want you to apply our presence in leadership space. If you allow us to talk to you about what we want, it makes your job easier. Because if anything happens for good, God forbid for bad, you say that it is the women. It is the summit like this that we are having that brought up this suggestion, which is why we are calling. There have been summits and there will be summits, but there are summits. So our takeaway is that we need our men to always come into what we do. It's not enough reducing the payment of the forms that is purchased for local government elections. It's not enough that you are reducing the money that is for the gubernatorial or for other things. Reducing the money is not what we want. We don't even want you to collect money at all. Because an average woman is cultural in nature. And she's expecting that because I'm a woman, you should, give me more exceptions, more concession. Because once you say women bring some money, we are losing like 80% of our materials. We have women who don't have money but have the supernatural intelligence to rule this country.
So I'm coming to that also. Do you think that financially, because we cannot overemphasize the place of finances in all of this we're talking about, do you think that financially, you just said it, that power is not served a la carte. So do you think financially we have women in the space that are financially capable of this? Because whether we like it or not, with politics, it's money. So do you think so? Because without finance, the women are not going anywhere.
We are fortunate and blessed to be able to find a way around situation and circumstance, which I'm still insisting on. So this is a point we're calling on women who are not politically inclined, but are gender sensitive. We need you to come into the space to say that this is what I'm putting in support of women. So when we have a wallet, a collective wallet, we can now bring in candidates who do not have that money to say that this is a money that has been collected from other women who want to see us swap. So these things are in place. people from the private sector, organized private sector, people that have been in power at one time or the other. You cannot just rest on your oars. We know that leadership rises and falls, and everybody, whatever the government decides today, affects every part of the economy. So if you're saying I'm not a politician, I don't want to know what is going on there. We need you. We need your money. We need you in so many areas. There's so many things you can do. There are multi-ramification efforts you can give to us, because money answers all things.
That's true.
And you know, a lot of us, because in the stage of life, at a point in time, we slow down completely to do the needful expected of us as women. Childbearing, raising a family, nurturing men. All this time, the men are ahead of us making all the money, which is why they always have more money. You understand? So, but if you don't, at a point in time of your life, slow down to be a mother, a wife, people will call you names and you get to the top. They will call you a name, they will say you're a witch. But this period we slow down to make these sacrifices, to be a total woman. We need other women to now come out and stand in the gap for us when we lack some basics. And I still want to appeal to the men, please. It's not about the financial power. We have the power to rule. If you give us the chance, we will even show you how to save up on the economy. At the end of the day, in the not too distant future, achieving a leadership position will be next to nothing. Financially, people will like, okay, this is a CV, let her go and do it. So that is just the story.
So we're talking about empowering, the young ladies now. We're talking about empowering girls, and we see the nonchalant attitude with our young boys. I think if you ask me, some of them are delving into politics early enough in life, but you see, the girls are just there, like cadastral attitude towards politics, but you see them take leadership positions, at their places of work, other things, associations, even in churches and all of that. But this political leadership is something that they just feel, I don't want to go there. Now, what can be done to engage these young girls?
With your kind permission, I would like to personalize this. Charity begins at home, so we're told. Charity begins at home, so we're told. My daughter, as an actor, she was able to, do exploits beyond me. Then in the political space, she has gone on to be the first female speaker of the Lagos State University. So it is for every woman to go back to the drawing board to try and impute the much she can in her offspring, so that the men will not come and tell them the same story. For my daughter, a man will not tell her the story of you cannot be this, because already preceding marriage, she's already that. And it is working because I am still on the stage, and they're like, oh, okay, you're the daughter of this person. So it is not for you as a young lady to give up because your mother is not a politician or you don't have the history of political leadership in your family.
Okay, let me hold your thought a little bit there. We want to go for a breather. When we return, we'll continue this conversation about engaging girls. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Morning Ride on NTA2, and the discussion is empowering women for political leadership and grassroots impact. My guest with me is the convener president, Lagos Made Women Organization, and team lead protocol and logistics, Lagos State, for the All APC Women Summit Group Southwest. She is Ambassador Abosede Oluwakemi Joseph. Yes, thank you. You were, before we went for that break, I was really enjoying that part of your daughter being, into partisan politics. So how is it, mommy and daughter in politics and everything, so,
The beauty of life is the fact that when you realize that growing up, you've had some opportunities and chances in life you didn't particularly convert. The most you can do is try to see if you can revisit, replay. And as an actor, I started as an actor. My daughter joined and she went on to be a multiple award-winning actor. So for the space of leadership and politics, it was seamless for her. So when the noise came that was the first female speaker at Lagos State University, I was just super excited, because you can only tell a child what to do. Yes. Actualizing it now depends on the child. So when we stand together at places of gathering, people are able to actually appreciate the fact that I'm not just a talker. I've been able to successfully do. So I am fulfilled in that respect, because now I know that I am leaving a legacy. There's a legacy I'm hoping that one day will convert. So, people actually, when they bring their children into politics, it's from the angle of reluctance. It's from the angle of, well, my father is this, so automatically I can be that. But we have, either way, we have our separate citations, which is splendid. The citations we read separately. It's not as if, because you put me somewhere, after some time I now put my child. My child has her own CV. I have my own CV. And this is the beauty of democracy we are talking about. So we as women, we must understand that we are talking of individuality in politics. It is good that your collective presence will earn you more. But individuality is very important. Because when you talk of some people that they bear their parents' name in politics, people just take a walk. That, okay, remove the father or mother's name from his name. Who is he? Who is she? It's nothing. But when you want to actually leave a legacy, you must let that child have an individual,
personality.
Thank you, ma. The personality must be distinct. It won't be, this person is here because the mother or father was that person. So we want you to understand that when you are building or mentoring people, let them know that their citation matters on the long run, because they won't add your citation to that of your child when the chips are down.
All right, well, time is, we could, have this discussion on and on and on and on and on. But before I let you go, what gives you hope for the future of women in politics and grassroots leadership?
We're on it. Like the summit we are having, like the cohesion we're trying to build as the all APC women support group in the Southwest. Is also in the other 5 geopolitical zones. We have them in the North Central, we have them in the Northeast, we have in the South, we have in the Southeast. There's no way you will survive, as a loner, as a lone ranger in politics. We need each other, which is backing this kind of summit that we're coming up with, hopefully in another week. And understanding this fact is very important for women in the political space. A lot of people are, relying on their husband's connection, they're relying on their father's connection, and it is working now. But in the not too distant future, we will be the one that will present the list of the women we want to rule instead on our behalf in the political space. So,
all right, finally, I want you to look into the camera and talk to one girl out there. Give one piece of advice to a young woman aspiring to lead. Just look into the camera and talk to a girl out there.
My dear young woman, the men have been saying, what do you bring to the table? It is not enough that you're beautiful. Now it is not enough that you're educated. It is enough when you have a say in how your life is governed. And someone out there will say, that's my daughter. That's my wife, that's my sister. The more reason you need to come into the political space, because there's enough room for everybody. It is not a matter of those mamas, those babas. No, your space, your seat is waiting for you. As a young woman in the political space, you are more exposed than we are. You have seen in developed clients that women reign. They rule in Sweden, in New Zealand, even in Africa. Here we have them in Rwanda. We have them in a lot of African countries. They are presidents. Yes, we are not yet president in Nigeria, but we will be governors. We will definitely be president, and let it be that it is in your time that this reality, this vision, this everything is coming true. So please, now is the time to take a seat as we log on to a better Nigeria for women in political and leadership space. God bless you.
All right. Well, that's a beautiful one for every girl out there aspiring to go into politics and political space. Honestly, don't just sit back and expect it to be served to you a la carte. Start from even while you are a youth, while you are in school, while you are in your office space, while you are, among your, the labor congress, anywhere. Just start something. Leadership starts from grassroots. All right, we've been having this discussion, empowering women for political leadership and grassroots impact with our guest. She is the convener, President, Lagos Made Women Organization, and team lead protocol and logistics, Lagos State, for the All APC Women Summit Group Southwest. She is ambassador Abosede Oluwakemi. Joseph, thank you for being our guest on this segment.
Beautiful, as always. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we take another breather right now. We'll return. Our next guest will be here with us on the show. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.